I was 15 and we moved around a lot as a kid because my dad got transferred. So I was always the new kid. A guy kind of targeted me, I would say, and spent about 6 months. We call it grooming, but it kind of also seems like, courting, and asked me if I wanted to ride home from school one day. And I jumped at this chance, but he didn't take me home. He took me to his house. He said he forgot something, and I went in with him stupidly, and he gave me a pop, and it was laced with some drug, and I got drugged and dizzy, and then he raped me.
Teresa Flores spent 2 years being sex trafficked, threatened, abused, and all while living from home unknown to her family. In the past year, the Central Ohio Human Trafficking Task Force determined 181 potential victims of human trafficking. Flores said initially she didn't know others shared her experience.
And for so long I thought that nobody had a story like mine. But almost every time that I go and do a talk, somebody comes up to me and just whispers in my ear, my story is the same.
The report also said 98 traffickers were arrested, but Flores says these numbers only show a small glimpse at the problem.
Those are ones that get reported. There's probably 2/3 of those that don't get reported.
Now, sex traffickers often take their victims to hotels and motels right off the highway, like the one behind me, just a couple miles north of Ohio State's campus. However, this specific location was shut down just a few months ago due to so many reports into the police about sex trafficking and IDing problems.
The comment, oftentimes victims are moved from location to location so that they don't get comfortable enough to really know where they are and how to get help.
Victims are often trafficked as young as ages 12 or 14. Flores says that college students will be the ones to stop the trend.
I think that college and high school students are going to be the ones that are going to change this. They're the ones that are now hearing about it and it's common to them, unlike the older people. They're like, I don't believe that, or I've never heard that, but the college students have, and they're going into fields that they can actually do something and make changes.
A speaker series program at OSU recently brought Michelle Hannon of the Salvation Army to talk about human trafficking and legislation in Ohio.
Good news about the year 2000, the Trafficking Victims Protection Act passed, and it gave us a federal criminal definition of this federal crime and helped us to start to have, start to shape all of the policy and law enforcement, and just really shaping all of the different responses from the federal level down.
Some Ohio State students said that their peers need to be informed.
You can identify with so many women out there who are victims, and I think it's definitely an issue that people, especially women, need to be aware of.
Flores says that she suspects change right around the corner.
This is like the tip of the iceberg. I think we're now really breaking through, and the common person is hearing about this.
If you or someone you know is being sex trafficked, call the Central Ohio hotline at 614-285-HELP. I'm Melissa Prax for Lantern TV. Many college students are trying to save a buck, whether that means renting a book or taking one out from the library.
I look on Chegg and Amazon and Barnes & Noble and everything in between. I always try to find the best one. I try to be frugal.
But buying a physical textbook is not the only option for students.
The downloaded version was $40 compared to a physical one, which is $200.
Welsh, like a rising number of college students, according to research by the Book Industry Study Group, may still buy some of their books, but prefer illegally downloading them to cut down on costs.
My friend in class is really good with computers, so he pirated it and then gave it to me.
Welsh said that the book was comparable to the print version, but more convenient to access.
I pirated the book and it's perfect. It's the same edition, same everything. It's a PDF file.
The study says that instructors aren't on the same page as students when it comes to number of books assigned. As for Welsh, he said he would consider downloading textbooks in the future.
I would definitely like to pirate them. Maybe I'll get them printed out, because I definitely need a physical copy. This is the first year that I actually haven't had the physical copies, and it's kind of been tough.
Student Book Exchange declined comment when asked by Lantern TV if illegal textbook downloads are a concern, and referred us to Barnes & Noble, who have not responded as of Wednesday evening. Melissa Prax, Lantern TV.
I was defining love by 20 minutes of pleasure. And most of the time I didn't remember their names. I have no idea who I got it from. It was June 15th, 1986. I was on my way to work. I had a nose infection that they gave me some medicine for. And then I had some spots on my leg. And I went in and the doctor says to me, at 25 you shouldn't have shingles. You probably have HIV. We'll give you the test. That was 27 years ago. Went to work and I said to my bartender, I said, Mary Beth, I don't want to die. And she said, Greg, you're not going to die. So I held on to that. That was all I needed. Some of my friends committed suicide. I watched my friends deteriorate, but in the process I saw them create a positive life. I don't want them to die in vain. I'm here for them, each and every day. I was infected for almost 5 years and only 2 people knew. I moved away and ended up coming back, and slowly it's been a process. Nothing happens overnight. I've always been a black sheep and in the family, so I guess they're not surprised by anything with me anymore. They don't talk much about it, and that's okay. I mean, we've had to deal with a lot of issues. When I told my mom, she told me I had to get right with the Lord. And I laughed because I didn't know what that meant, but I allowed myself to try to figure that out. I have a lot of regrets, but I'm where I'm supposed to be and doing the things I'm supposed to be doing. I teach you everything a college student should know about HIV and AIDS on the Kinesiology 314. What we look at is not only teaching you to understand what HIV is and the stigmas and discrimination around it, but how can you put it into your world in a way that you're aware of it, but not infected with it. You can stand up there and you can lecture about anything you want to. You can read the material, but do you own it and do you present it in a way that, you know, this is me, this is my life. These are my mistakes. You know, value my journey and release yourself to your own journey. My life isn't different. Yeah. But what is different is that I do not view myself as a victim. And in not viewing myself as a victim, I own everything that happened to me. And if I can teach that to somebody, then they can own their stuff and not be so oppressed by it. And I'll be here a little while longer. Yeah. So get your cocktail, get your seat. The show's gonna go again.